This is look at. Oh yeah, this is so cool. Look at this.
I'm so happy that these will be recorded forever.
Me too.
And they'll never go anywhere.
Yeah.
And there will be documentation of our friendship right here
Right now.
for you, in front of you, the Journeyer.
Hello, Journeyers.
Hi, Journeyers.
Hey, welcome back.
Oh, Journeyers. It's Luke Wallens.
It's Shannon Stott.
And we're improv on and off the stage. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
I'm an improviser professionally, and Luke is also an improviser professionally.
Yeah.
But also, adding to his credentials.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Hold up.
He has something
I got
for us all.
I got the.
Oh, do you have a thing?
I got the thing.
Very professional around here, and we like to make sure that our titles are seen. Luke Wallens, drama therapist, registered. Don't fuck around in here.
I know. It's fabulous. It's wonderful. It's amazing.
That's the best
here.
thing. It's here.
It's in the present moment. Sorry.
It's really important.
It is. It is.
It is. Listen, Luke,
Yes.
I did that thing again, and we're gonna talk about negativity and there's another word. It's the theme. The theme is reliability.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can rely on all of us to remember what the theme is. How about this? Let's start with this.
Okay. Great.
Talk about how reliability in general is showing up in your life. Talk about that. Just go while I bring some stuff to the forefront here.
So, reliability is basically, it's kind of like, I was actually talking about this today. I'm a camp manager for a theater camp this week.
Oh, yes.
And I was talking with my co-camp manager about like, oh yeah, this teacher is like, you can throw them anything and they're flexible with any of the ideas. They're and I feel like, that, I can put them in any situation and they will be like, cool, I know what to do. And so that to me, as a camp manager, I'm like, oh, that person is reliable. I know I can depend on this person because they're flexible, but they're also like willing to try new things out and be like, cool, great. I'll see what I can do with this. I got it. It's like, okay, cool, great. Yeah.
That's so interesting because me and Emily in the show right before our show, we're talking about this idea of how reliability shows up in people.
Right.
And we were talking about sort of deconstructing, or rather looking into the things that we find in people that are reliable instead of naming them wholly reliable all the time, because you can start to depend on them to be that. But if we're like, okay, let's talk about how Luke is reliable in this particular sector, then when in other sectors one day we need to be flexible for you, it doesn't suddenly Luke's we're just relying on Luke for this whole blah, blah, blah. But really it's like, hey, we need to be flexible for Luke.
Yeah. I'm like, it's like, it's really wonderful to have that sense of community and like just be like, oh, cool, like how can things change? How can things work in a different way? Because the thing is, I mean, things change, all the time. So like, the more we work on like being flexible and being adaptable to like, not only flexible but adaptable. To be like, okay, cool, great. This isn't working. This is working, and I'm okay to change and to change how my approach on things, or like I'm okay to add in more things to make things work.
I like this. We're like, this just remembering that reliability, having something be reliable requires flexibility from us which is interesting. Only because that's not how we think about stuff. If something is reliable, then we're like, it better be reliable from day one until the end of its days.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa,
that's a lot of expectation on that other thing.
Yeah, let's be flexible, cool people.
Yeah. You know, like, and there's like, you know, like, because the thing is, like, you know, everyone has their own thing going on, and so, you know, there's some days where people are more flexible or more adaptable or more open to being reliable versus other days where the other days you're just kind of like exhausted or you know, like, or you just are too busy on other things to be as reliable as you need for the group or things like that.
Well, guess what?
What's up? Oh no, I'm scared. But I can rely on this fear. Ooh. Shut up. Seriously, no, like seriously, like this is like even if we were not on here right now, I'm like, you know, like this, yeah, okay. So,
this thing, I'm scared, but I can rely on this fear. I was thinking, like, we will rely on negative things happening in our lives.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. And it sucks.
And it sucks. It sucks so much. Yeah. It's the worst. Hi, Journeyer. You can join us in the chat if you want. Yeah, this not great thing. I can rely on my boss to call me out in front of people all the time. It makes me feel terrible. Or I can rely, like, these types of negative sort of things. But instead of confronting them, we're just like, you know what? I will create not a shortcut, but like a way to lean on that as a thing. I'll just deal with it instead of facing the fear of changing it. Yeah. Because like, it reminds me of, like, you know, like a lot of actors say, like, you know, like, well, go through like certain stages of stage fright, you know, or like, oh, I'm so scared about this, I'm so nervous about this role. But the thing is, you still, I mean, the show goes on, you gotta like carry on with it. And like, even with improv, like, you know, like I've been doing it for a long time. I know a lot of improvisers that, you know, are like still scared. Yay, drama therapist, registered. But at the same time, you know, like, it's kind of like, I know this is coming, and I know I'm going to be scared. And so, you know, my body is used to it, like my thought process is used to it. And so, like, it's like, okay. And so you can, because you know that that is coming or that is there, the reliability comes in where it's like, this old chestnut. This is you know, it's like, okay, cool. So I know how to deal with it. I know that it's going to be there. What can I do to maybe not lessen it, but like to kind of go through it and be like, what am I actually scared about? Am I scared about like forgetting my lines, or am I scared about like being more vulnerable as an improviser than I thought it would be? You know, like, and being okay with like, yeah, as an improviser, it may not go exactly how you planned it. That's great. You know, that's okay. Right? Because that's what we're trained to be looking for. We're trained to be looking for places to be flexible within the reliable inflexibility. Nope. The reliable flexibility. Something's always changing. But excuse me, Luke. But this idea, this like, I'm scared. I can rely. Luke is talking about something a little different. You're relying on the fear to propel you in that situation. Yeah.
Like, it's a springboard, and it's kind of weird because it's just like, you don't, because fear is the emotion that it is. You automatically want to like run away from it, get away from it.
Yeah.
And understand, like, you know, there could be a sense of danger. There could be a sense of, you know, things like that. But a lot of times with improv, like you're making up stuff on the spot. You're playing with imagination,
Mhm.
and you can always like add on to it or be like, hey, this doesn't feel comfortable. Can we change this?
Mhm.
Like there's always that flexibility that can come with it. And then with drama therapy, like you're still using that imagination, and I think more of the fear comes out about like how vulnerable am I going to be with this group, and like, and so and so my thought process as a drama therapist be like, okay, how can I make this group as comfortable as possible for people to share things, and be vulnerable, and know that like, yeah, we're not going to solve all the answers, but I'm not going to leave you hanging at the end. I'm not going to be like, bye, like
Yeah.
it's like gonna be like, okay, cool, we're gonna find a way to close this out and leave with like a question or a thought process of mine that we may not have thought of,
Mhm.
that like the group can help.
This is a huge thing. So you ended with that the group can help you out with, and that the idea of having a goal seems very important. So when you said, how vulnerable am I going to be, instead of letting the fear, right? Okay, well, I know I'm going to go into this vulnerable space as an actor or even in a drama therapist situation. I know I'm going to go into this vulnerable space, and that can cause all this like anxiety, right? All this fear. And now we're just focusing on that. But if we can sort of parcel out, okay, what is bringing me anxiety, or
Yeah.
what am I afraid? Afraid of. I'm afraid of being too vulnerable. What does too vulnerable look like?
Yeah.
And then start thinking about, well, where do I want to be with these people? What are the things that I'm excited to share?
Mhm.
What are the things that make me nervous about sharing today?
Mhm.
Maybe I'll be okay if I share them later.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking about I'm thinking about translating that then onto stage.
On stage. Okay.
Yeah, because okay, oh no, I'm scared,
Mhm.
because you were talking about stage fright. You're talking
Yeah.
about stage fright, and like figuring out what it is about improv in the moment, and I'm talking about in the moment of a show,
Mhm.
right before a show. Today I'm scared. Today I'm feeling stage fright. Well, what is it about the stage that I am frightened of? Is it vulnerability? Is it making stuff up? Is it characters? Is it the person that I am playing with?
Yeah.
Right? What is
Yeah.
bringing me that anxiety? And can I address that little part and use the rest of it as like fuel to address it? Fuel to be amazing
Yeah.
on stage.
Yeah. And yeah, it takes a while to convert that,
Mhm.
because like there's first like being even aware of what you're scared of,
Mhm.
like because fear, like that emotion helps you like be aware of danger and to run away from things that are like scary. Like sometimes sometimes it's so impulsive that we don't even realize how
Can't even
scared we
take the
were of
moment.
things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so it's like, okay, why did I like separate myself from the group with this, or why did I separate, and like, and what can I do to, now that I know that, what can I do to address it, and how can I make the fear more reliable?
Mhm. See, it's down there. It's right here.
Yeah. Um, and so yeah, like knowing that it's always going to be there, and
Mhm.
like in some form or fashion. But then also like sometimes it's like it depends on the situation a lot and how comfortable you are to go into it. Be like, say, like I'm scared of doing scenes about chairs. It's like like or something like that. It's like,
Mhm.
okay, so what am I gonna do as an improviser? Be like, I'm gonna get on stage and there's gonna be a chair there. Okay, cool,
What do I
great.
do?
What do I do?
How
What do
am
I
I
do?
going
How
to?
how close? What's my proximity to it? And then also like, when I'm this close, how do I feel about it versus when I'm this close, how do I feel about it? And kind of approaching it from there. So that'd be like a drama therapist approach with it.
Mm-hmm.
But how would you do it as an improviser or improv teacher? What do you think?
First off, this. The one is a discussion. So we have, because we are improvisers, and usually we're working, unless you're doing solos, I'm not going to talk about solos. If you're a solo improviser, next time.
Yeah. Next time. Yeah.
But if you are in a troupe, one, let's talk about the chair in the group before the show.
Okay.
Right? Let's bring up the things, right? Okay, today, before we all get on stage, what are some things that we're not touching or that we are aware of? Oh, Luke is bringing chairs. Luke says no chairs. No chairs. All right, everybody no chairs? Everybody no chairs? Great. Shannon says no police in this scene. Great. No police. Yeah. And so we do that. Yeah. That is what we do. And then we the reliability comes on to our fellow people, right? Our fellow improvisers to help us manage those things. When we see the chair pop up on stage, who's going to wipe? Who's going to edit that chair? Who's going to come over and be like, this chair is actually a stool. This stool is actually a lily pad. Right, you know what I mean? Whatever it is. This police officer is actually, a giraffe. Yeah. Just a giraffe, regular giraffe. Unemployed.
Yeah, unemployed giraffe. Yeah.
But the idea that we can rely on other people to help us with that, and that we can do it ourselves, right? Because it's not often, sometimes this has to happen all the time, obviously. But have you ever been like so afraid of something, or so you have such anxiety around a thing, and it feels like it just is attracted to you, like you yourself are manifesting it, you know? You said, I'm the one who said no police, yet I'm also the one who's like, doop, doop, woo, on stage. Why did I do that? Because I'm so...
It's like you want to mess with it. You want to there's a lot there's just a want to just figure out what's with that. What's with that thing,
I want to touch it. I want to. It's hot. It's a flame. I want to touch it, and I want to see.
It's gross. It's mud. It's
right.
It's
yucky. And I want to see how I can play with it. But on stage probably isn't where you want to do that. In Luke's workshops, drama therapy workshop is where you want to do that.
The thing is, you can. I'm gonna counter a little bit. So you can do both. You can play with it in both scenarios. However, with drama therapy, you'll get there's reflection time to talk about it with the group. Whereas an improv scene, if you play it in a show, you may have the same effect, but in terms of processing stuff, it'll be a little bit different, more individualistic.
Absolutely. But those are the things. Those making sure that the topic is brought up before. Yeah. Making sure that it is.
I love that.
Helped by others, and then same thing. You use the words, but just reflection afterwards. How did we do? Yeah. Did it feel okay to paint that stool a lily pad? Did it feel okay to make that police officer a giraffe? How can we, an unemployed giraffe? How can we do that better next time, if at all?
Okay. Because when you talked about are you okay with chairs? Are you okay with chairs? Checking in with the group at the beginning. It's it's so small yet so important, and you do that all the time, Shannon. I'm gonna say that in warm-up groups and stuff like that. You do that all the time, and it makes me feel a lot more comfortable. And be like, oh, I can step. Okay, great. I'm ready to go. Because there's that the eye contact and the individual kind of thing, but within the group.
The troupe Blackout does that a lot, and they take it a step further. and they have timeouts in the middle of their scenes.
Yeah.
And so at any given time,
Great.
you're in a scene, you just call timeout if you're feeling uncomfortable about whatever you're feeling uncomfortable. And no action needed. No action needed, no wipe, no explanation, no
Yeah.
nothing. And we can just move on. We can literally, like, something, chair, timeout. And it just reminds
Yeah.
everyone, like, right, we said no chairs.
Yeah.
And we don't have to do the whole, like, I'm so sorry,
Yeah,
it's a
right.
chair,
Yeah, grovel,
it's a
grovel,
chair,
grovel.
that's it,
Yeah.
no, it's we don't have to make it a
Yeah.
thing at all. We just time the scene out. We move forward like it never happened,
Yeah.
and we can discuss it afterwards. And I
Yeah.
feel like,
when you mention no chair, you know, it's one of those psychological things about like, don't think about the chair, don't
Right.
think about the chair, think about the chair, think about the chair. I'm thinking about the chair.
I'm thinking about
the chair.
it's a chair.
Chair.
There's a giraffe police
Yeah,
officer.
unemployed.
Sorry. Yeah.
So yeah, like, and it's just one of those things that like it will, yeah. But
Where? Oh, here. Oh no, I'm scared, but I can. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm switching our
Yes.
convo to a different way of thinking about this question. I'm wondering what you think about being afraid of something. Okay. Oh no, I'm scared, but I can rely on this fear. Being afraid, and instead of, because I feel like fear is something we should look at so we can dispel it, right?
Yeah.
Not that we should ignore.
Yeah. Right.
And that is a place where I can rely on this fear to always be there. As in this, I will be forever scared of this thing, this person, this topic. And instead of addressing it, it's just a little box that I don't look at. I'm just gonna
No.
I'm just
Really?
gonna ignore. I'm gonna ignore that, and I'm
Yeah.
wondering how that shows up for you, or if
Yeah.
it shows up, or like how do we work through that
Right.
rendition of fear or of relying on fear?
I have to go back a little bit because, like, I mean, this comes back to parts work and being like, okay, so because the thing is, like, with fear, you have to find a way to label it, to name it, to find a way to solidify it in your brain or out in the outside. Like, this object represents fear to me, fear of something else to me, because the thing is, you have to, because if you don't, it'll just exaggerate and go all throughout your brain, and it could come up in your body in different ways too, but you have to find a way to care about it.
Ooh, no.
I know, right? Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I know. It's like, oh my God, I know, it's this gross fear baby that's just like, we gotta take care of it somehow. So it's like,
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can make this right, or like explain it to you as an improviser, as a teacher of improv.
Right.
Oh, you said this thing. You've got to find a way to care about it. I don't like Luke Wallens. He does a whole. He has a whole job and a whole degree. Ugh, just. But here's the thing. As an improv teacher, you've got the one person in your improv class who's going to come in, and all they're going to do is be blankist, right? They're just going to be ist. And boy, the thing is that you want to say, how about this? Get out. Don't come back.
Yes, there's that.
Right?
And that's perfectly valid as well. I'm just going to say that.
But you're saying, because where the fear comes in is on the part of the instructor and on the part of the other improvisers. And you know that fear is there, or you can rely on that person to be there. You can rely on them. But instead of fixing the problem, You ignore it. But what you're telling me is not only should, yes, get out is a valid idea.
Yes, it is valid. Yes.
And also what you're saying is ignoring it is just going to exacerbate the problem.
Yes.
But somehow you might have to find a way to care.
I know. And that can come in a lot of different ways. It can come into.
I don't want to care about you, guy. I don't.
But
Luke is saying.
I'm saying
I have
like
to care.
I'm saying like it's not the person. It's talking about the behavior. About like, okay, you're like, and calling it out and be like, hey, that is ist. Just be like, hey, because maybe that person does not understand that that's ist.
Maybe they don't understand that that's ist.
And
how can you not understand? Luke Mullins.
You know, people like there's all walks of life, So, but you know, maybe they're not aware of it, and so like,
Luke says you have to care.
But the thing is, you know, like it's hard to come to that point. It's very, very hard to come to that point.
I'm just saying. I just want your name to be on there when people are like, who said that? Who said just care for other people? As humans,
a lot of philosophers have.
Nobody, no one ever has said that except for Luke Mullins on this show.
It's like it's a lot harder said than done. Like,
it's so difficult, Luke, because here's the thing. As far as it goes, like in this moment, this like I'm scared. I can rely on this fear. Like this relying on the person who is ist or being ist, like as in I'm relying on the fact that they're always going to be this way. They'll never ever change. There's nothing that can be done. So get them out of here. But what you're saying is something humanity, something goodwill.
At least you know, like, because the thing is like there's the person being ist needs to find a way to understand why they're being ist. You know,
but that's not my job.
That is not your job. That's not your job.
Oh.
And that's their job.
I'm like, yes, I'm
fighting. I'm good.
Okay.
And that is not your job. And that you know, like that's their job to understand why. You know, but like, and I guess, I mean, like it's kind of like.
Hector and yours.
Hello.
Well, just to recap, if you're joining us and you're like, what has stumped Luke? Luke is stumped.
Yeah.
I said that I don't care about ist people.
Yeah.
People who are being ist, especially when it comes to being on stage or teaching on the stage.
And,
but Luke is saying
like,
we've got to care. We've got to care as far as relying, right, on fear.
Right.
If we're too afraid to go at it or to address it, we have to remember we have to start caring.
This is
here it comes.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Yeah. So it's like it's their job to understand what's going on and why they're being ist. Yes. So that's there. But it's also caring about yourself and not letting that happen. You know, in terms of like, no, I'm not going to tolerate that. Like, you know, one way of caring about yourself and the group, and be like, that's not going to affect me. Like, I'm not going to be scared of that, you know, because like this is my fear is valid, but also my strength is valid.
Ooh, and my fear is valid, my strength is valid.
And so like there's like, and so the care comes in about like, okay, you're caring for yourself, you're caring for the group and group health and your health, and also like that guy, that this person that, you know, like is definitely needs to find a way to understand why they're being ist. And you know, and so if that means kicking him out of the group, do it. Um, and like anything else is like, if they're open to understanding things, great. If they're not, that's their problem. That's the thing.
This is big to me. This is big because it is up to a lot of people, right? As far as what you do in that situation, but what I am hearing is this big part. I am caring for myself.
Yeah.
I need to care for myself.
But I mean, with improv and drama therapy, they align in a lot of ways. But especially with here, caring starts with yourself.
Yes.
And definitely starts with yourself.
Yes.
And figuring out like, hey, I care about myself. I care about standing up for myself. I care about loving myself. And I have a lot of strength in that. This is why I'm here in this improv. This is why I'm here in this drama therapy, because I want to take those challenges and those risks, to have fun and to rework things that I was scared of before.
Mm-hmm. We talk about this all the time because we're talking. We talk about it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's prevalent enough in the improv community because what the improv community is pushing care for others, care for others,
Yes,
care for others,
that's great.
And sure,
Yeah,
but. I can't care for you if I'm not caring for me.
Right.
I gotta care for me. I gotta put my oxygen mask on first, put it on first, then you, then me.
Yeah.
No, me first, then you.
You first, then me.
Because this gets us into trouble. Seeing the person who is being ist, right?
Yeah.
And thinking to yourself, they will always be that thing.
Yeah.
And so maybe if I can figure out ways to circumvent their ist, right? Instead of addressing the ist, I'll always put them in a block of ice in scenes or whatever way you're going to circumvent.
Yeah.
And whether you're the teacher who's dealing with that, the instructor, or the improviser, another improviser in the troupe, you are not taking care of yourself when you let that person, or not even let that person, but when you rely on, you think to yourself, you know what? It's not going to change. It's going to be fine. I'll protect everybody else from that person.
It's like, the protection starts with getting them out of the group.
Yeah.
And like, this behavior has to stop.
This behavior has to stop.
Because improv, it's all about finding those choices and being like, those are horrible choices. And horrible choices.
Luke's gonna tell you it's a horrible choice.
Yeah, and I was it's because that's hurting people. And you don't want to. So it's just
keep on keeping on.
One, separate them from the group and making sure that the group is safe and okay to continue, and then carrying on from there. Because that behavior does not need to happen whatsoever, and that behavior needs to change. And so sometimes it's just they need to be kicked out of things because they need to understand that that's not acceptable,
right
anymore. And so going back to being I guess instead of that's where fear changes into bravery and courage, and be like, you know what, I got scared about saying these things, or hello, doing these things, but at the same time, that's also where you have your strength about I was scared to say those things, but they need to be said because I am protecting myself and I'm protecting for the group. And it doesn't matter if you're the one directly affected as the ist, but it's just that's that's offensive, and that's hurtful to people, and so cutting that off and being and taking courage and bravery to be no, that's ist, and we're not tolerating that. That's it. Bye-bye.
Luke Wallens,
Shannon Stott.
you're great.
You're wonderful.
So are you, Journeyers.
Yeah.
If you have questions, let us know. We've been talking about reliability.
Yeah.
And we are relying on you to get ISTS people out of your lives.
Yes.
On and
Off the stage.
bye.
Bye.